Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So in this video I'm going to be showing you guys how to make this two-piece. I think I already have a video on this on my channel, but I'm just going to be going through it because I'm making this for a client, so I figured I could show you guys what like an easy way to make it, right? So this one here, all you have to do, so first you're going to cut out your back panel. So this one is what I'm using for my back panel, right? She wants the length of her shirt to be about 26, so I added extra like 2.5 to it, half an inch to join the shoulder, 2 inches to fold the bottom of the shirt, right? And then the width I have here is just her bust measurement, which is already 40. So her bust is 40 divided by 4 is going to give me 10, right? And then so I have extra at least 2 inches more added to it, so what I have here is just 12. So now I'm going to take, with this one now, I'm going to determine the width of my front panel. So the front panel basically has, so guys, the front will have an extension of 2.5 inches, not 3, just 2.5 inches extension from where the back panel stops, like where the fold of the back panel stops. That's the difference between the two of them. And that 2.5 is what we're going to fold for our placket, for the button and the buttonhole. That said, let's go ahead and insert the measurement. So we're going to go back up to this part where the shoulder will be, and then you're going to divide the shoulder by 2. So her shoulder is 14.5, so divided by 2 will be 7.25. I'm going to go ahead and mark that now, and then I'm going to come down here 1 inch for the shoulder slope, right? And then the next thing I'm going to do is to insert her armhole. So basically, to calculate this, you can do your bust divided by 6 plus 1.5. So guys, that will be about, so like I said, to calculate this, you're going to use your bust divided by 6 plus 1.5. So for her it will be about 8.5 or so. So I'm going to connect it all the way to the top, right? So make sure you also transfer this same shoulder measurement here. Just try to keep your hand straight too. So as you can see, now I'm going to just connect it from this point here all the way to the top, and then I'm going to connect it all the way to this side. So guys, the next thing you're going to do is to mark 3 inches of neck width, so which I've done here. After that, I connected the 1 inch of shoulder slope to that point of the 3 inches. The next thing you're going to do is to mark 1 inch for the neck depth, and then 3 inches for the front neck depth. So for the back neck depth, 1 inch is what I'm using, which I've marked here, but the front neckline is this one here. So I'm just going to just leave it the way it is. So guys, for now, what you're going to do is to go ahead and cut. Like I said, this is the easiest method of making this. So cut all the way out. I've cut my armhole. All I have to do now is just to cut the shoulder slope. And that's basically it, guys. So I have my back panel and my front panel. My front panel is the one that is elongated. So all I have to do is to make sure that the sides are straight. So guys, now that is done, I'm going to separate the front and the back. And then what I'm going to do for the front is, like we did 3 inches down here. So I'm going to connect that 3 inches into this neckline here, right? Because remember, this is the tip of the neckline. So I'm going to connect it, this 3 inches depth here. So I'm now going to go ahead and cut it off. So once you cut it off, you're also going to go to your armhole this side, coming by half an inch like how we normally do, like coming like half an inch here for the armhole in front. This is just to help you so that the sleeve will not bulk up in front. So I'm going to go ahead and also cut this part off. So guys, now that is done, I'm going to go ahead and split the front into 2, so that you have your 2 front panel and the 1 back panel. So let me split this into 2 now. So guys, all you have to do is just to go to your sewing machine. This is my back panel here. All I have to do is to take one piece of the front, join it to this side, you see. So take one piece, join it on the shoulder here, and then take the second piece here, and then I'm going to also join it on the shoulder on this side, you see. But before, so guys, before we even join it by the shoulder, you have to the 2.5 inches extension we added, you have to fold half an inch and then fold 1 inch. That way you've made a placket for the button and the buttonhole. You're going to do it on both sides of the shirt. So the same thing, fold half an inch first and then turn it over with 1 inch. So that way you've used up that 2.5. Now each of them will overlap the other. You understand? And do that now, and then join this together. And then the next thing is to also go ahead and cut your sleeve. So for her sleeve is also the same thing. So this is a fabric folded into 2 for the 2 sides of the sleeve. And then what I'm going to do now is just to come down here about 3.5 or 4. So come down here, straight line, and then the width I have here is basically her armhole divided by 2 plus 1.5. And then the next thing you're going to do is just to connect in line from this tip here to this point. And then you're going to find halfway through this line, give it a curve below this way and then a curve above this way. Insert her sleeve width, whatever it is. So her sleeve width is 14, divided by 2 is 7. Let me say I add half an inch for ease and then 1 inch of sewing allowance. So that's it. Connect it to this point, and all you have to do now is just to go ahead and cut. So guys, that's basically it. All I have to do is just to go ahead and join everything I just told you guys, and then I'll come back and show you how you're going to add the collar. So guys, this is the shirt here. So the next thing I'm going to do is to add the collar. Like I said, I'm telling you guys the easiest method of doing this, right? So as you can see, I've folded this placket here and then I folded it. Guys, that's why I said make sure you use 2.5. Don't use 3 inches, don't use less than that, because if you use anything more like 3 inches, then when you fold it, one will overlap each other this way. So you have to make sure that the excess you have in front of your fabric is 2.5. That way when you fold it, it fits, one fits this way and this one fits this way. You understand? Because basically you have 1 inch here, 1 inch here, and half an inch tucked in. So that's why it's 2.5 extension from the back panel. You understand? 1 inch is forming the placket on this side, 1 inch is forming the fold on this side, and half an inch is forming the one you used to fold it. So 2.5. So now the next thing we have to do is the collar. So what I like to do is to cut out 4 inches of width. You can cut it on a fold if you want to, but I have 4 inches here. So what I'm going to do is turn it to the wrong side now, and then I'm going to use half an inch to join it. You understand? So I'm going to close up half an inch at the top part here, and once I close it, then the next thing I'm going to do is just to take this here, put it in between this way and sew it, and just join this at the top. Don't mind I'm showing you with the wrong side, but basically you know it's going to be on the right side. Imagine you've already closed up this end now. You just tuck in half an inch on both sides of this one also, and then put this inside of it and sew it all the way and come back here. So once you fold it now, you already have your collar. So guys, now let's move over to the short. So guys, to make the short, as you can see, I have my fabric folded into 2 this way. So the width I have here is basically her hip measurement divided by 4, which is 11, plus like extra 3 inches or so, which is what I have here. So now she wants the pant length to be about 14 inches, right? So what I did here is just don't mind the length I have at the moment. So the band of her pant is going to be 2 inches, but then I need to mark half an inch for this part here, which is going to be the band part, right? So the seam allowance to join it to the band. So let me go ahead and mark half an inch at the top. So guys, the next thing I'm going to do is to place my band 2 inches at that point where this is, right? 2 inches at this line here. And then the next thing I have to do is her hip measurement divided by 4. That's how I'm going to get her crotch, and that will be the crotch line. So that will be at 11, because like I said, her hip is 44, so divided by 4 is going to give me 11. And like I said, all my measurements are going to be starting from this line here, considering my 2 inches of band. You understand? So 11 is where it's going to be. So after that, the next thing I have to do is just to go from this point now and insert her hip measurement divided by 4, mark that. Also go up to the top and mark that, but so I'm going to mark 11 inches, and then I'm going to add half an inch to it, and then also add half an inch at the bottom part here, and then I'm going to connect the 2 of them together. And then what you're going to do to calculate this center part here is basically just do whatever you have from this point to this point, divide it by 4. and then add it to this point. You understand? That's going to be the space you have here. So you're going to measure what you have from here to here, divide it by 4, and that would be what you have here. So for me, what I have is about 2.5 or 2.75 almost. So that works out. So now the next thing is basically just give it a curve for the crotch, and that is it. Because like I said, it's going to have elastic at the back. So guys, now what I'm going to do is to split open this side also. And if you want your pants to be fitted, like you're going for a more fitted one, I don't usually like to make pants too fitted, because remember, you have to sit down with it, and it's going to be on your, like, I mean shorts, when you make them too tight, it will now hold you in between your thighs, like midway on your thigh when you sit down, is what I'm trying to say. So that's why I don't like to make it too tight, especially by the opening. You understand? So now what I'm going to do is just to reduce it a little bit, because some people, their thighs are not that wide. You understand? So what I'm going to do is to reduce this opening a little bit, so it's not just like square or boxy. So to do that, you're going to take the measurement you have here, divide it by 2, so that will be 7. I'm going to mark it here, and then I'm also going to mark it here. So I have 14 on this line, divide it by 2, bring it here. So I have a straight line, almost like you're trying to cut a pencil punch, you understand? And then you're going to take your thigh measurement, round the thigh, the opening of the thigh, whatever it is for you. So you're going to measure that part of your leg, whatever it is. For her, it's 28. You see, it's 28, which is also 14. So I don't have to change anything, because round her thigh is 28, divided by 2 is 14, which is already from this point to this point. So I can't even take away anything. But let's say I measured it now and it came out to be, let's say 26, or let's say 26. So what I have to do is just to divide 26 into 2. I'll have 13, and then I'll just mark half of 13 on this side, half of 13 on this side. That's half of 13 on this side of the line, half of 13 on this side of the line. Connect it here, and then connect this one also to this point. That way you've shaped the opening of the pant. But I will always advise you, whenever you're doing something like this, try to add at least half an inch in there, so that you will not make your thigh too tight. So with that said, now we are going to go ahead, use this to cut the back panel. So guys, you notice we've not said anything about seam allowances. The half an inch I added here and I added here is just your ease, right? We've not said anything about seam allowance, because the allowances are going to come at the back. So now I'm going to take it again, take the back panel and place it on, the front panel, and place it again on a fabric that is folded this way. So let me turn it over to the wrong side. My front panel placed on the back panel. What you're going to do now is, you see, I extended my line from here all the way, from where the front ends, I extended it by 3 inches more. And then the next thing I'm going to do is just to go ahead and add 2 inches all the way to the top from this part here. If you use a lot to sew, you can do 2.5 just to be safe, right? If you use a lot of seam allowance, then you can just do 2.5. It doesn't matter, just so you can have some room to sew. This is our seam allowance that we are working with here. So now what I'm going to do is just to connect it from here and give it a curve here, just like that. And then at the top here, as you can see, the length of the pants, the bottom part here is the same length, both in front and at the back, right? So what I'm going to do now is, on this top part here, where the top of the pant starts, I'm just going to go up by about 2 inches or so, just 2 inches. And then I'm going to connect it to the end of this pant. And that's it. So all I'm going to do is just to go ahead and cut. Also, for the end of my pant, I'm going to just use 2 inches here to serve as my seam allowance. You can do 2 inches like I said, or you can do 2.5. So I'm just going to take it now, connect it this way, just like that. And that's it. I'm just going to connect it from here to here, and then I can go ahead and cut from this point down to this curve all the way here and cut down. So guys, now that this is done, the next thing I have to do is to take this front panel. We are going to do the pocket now. So as you can see, I have this fabric here that I already cut to serve as my pocket. So I'm going to go ahead and place it So let me turn this over to the right side now, because I want to be sure of what I'm doing. So over to the right, the wrong side facing each other. So what I'm going to do is this part that is going to be my pocket. Remember, your pocket is going to be to the side. So I'm going to take it now, put this inside here. So before that, let me put this away. I also cut it in form of a lining for the two sides of the pocket. So I'm going to take this here, place it here. You see, this is the square I want to work with. It's just like the rectangle I want to work with. This is both the length and the width of the pocket. It's about 11 inches of length and 8.5 inches of width. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the fabric, but I'm going to use just the lining. Place it here, and then I'm going to come in about, make sure you place it equally on this end and on this end too. So once that is done, I'm going to come in from this point here by 3 inches or 3.5, depending on you. 3.5 is what I'll do, because I'll still take away 1 inch on the side. So I can even do 4 inches. And then I'm going to go down by 6 inches. And then I'm going to connect the two together. So this is going to serve as my pocket. So from 4 inches in, 6 inches down, I'm going to connect it down this way. If you don't want it to be straight, you can also give it a curve. It depends on you. You don't have to do it straight this way. And then you're going to go ahead and cut this off. So I'm going to cut this out. So this is going to serve as my pocket. But I already cut this out, knowing fully well that I'm going to be using this at the back. I already have a video on how to make this pocket. So if you look at it now, you'll see my pocket has already formed. So all I have to do is just to go back in and sew it. But if you look at it now, this is going to be attached here, and then my hand will go inside here. You understand? So if you find that the 6 inches length is not enough, you can do 6.5. So now all I have to do is just to take it. As you can see, I cut for each side. I'm going to split this into two. One is going on each side. So first, you're going to join the two crotch together. Once you join that, you're going to now take, I like to use lining for the inside of the pocket because Ankara has starch. So once you use a starchy fabric inside, so it will be 3 layers of starchy fabric. One which is the cloth, one which is the lining, and then this second one which is the back of the pocket. It's going to be too much. So what I'm going to do now is just to go ahead, take this lining, join it, sew it all the way this way, flip it in. So once you sew it, you flip it in. If you want, you can even top stitch it. You flip it in on a fold, and then you take this one, put it at the back. Like I said, there are 2 of them here. One will go on this side, one will go on this side, and then you put it back. So you make sure that all the edges are equal, and then you put this equal to. So now we've gotten back the corner that you had here before. And also don't forget to put in your dart before you even start to do the pocket, because your pocket might go over the dart and you don't want to pick the dart and pick the pocket also at the same time. So the first thing I'm going to do now, once I go back, is just to take my shorts, join the crotch with 1/2 inch. After that, move away nipple to nipple distance, which for her will be 4 inches. Pick a dart here that is going to be about 8 inches long, and then I'm going to go in, join the lining first, and then join the back side of the pocket. So guys, this is it here. So all I have to do is just to put button on this side and then the buttonhole here, and this is done. As you can see, I've finished the shirt. I also have a video on how to get make the collar, but like I said, this video is all about the easiest way on how to just couple your shirt. This you can do it within like 2 hours. You finish both the shirts. 2 hours is even a lot. So see the pants here, I've also gone ahead and finished that, you see. So once you finish that, all you have to do is to join your band. My band open is about 2 inches of width. Sorry, is about 4 inches of width. So that's how I joined it to this here, and then closed up the whole side. So you're going to close up the side from the back and the front, and then you have opening for your pocket. The same goes for this side, and then you see I have my elastic at the back. And also guys, don't forget, for the front you're also supposed to pick a dart like I explained before, and then for the back you're also going to add 2 darts too, just so that it will reduce the puffiness at the back if you're using elastic. So you might just put a dart that is about 5 inches of length on both sides, and that's basically it. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Guys, please like, share and subscribe. Bye.